Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I'm Cloud Hudson, and I've forgotten to plug my microphone in before going live again. And I'll be your meteorologist for the evening. Your comedian / meteorologist. Okay, now, how's this sound different? All right. Okay. Does that sound a lot better? Sounds a little bit more beautiful. Sounds just a little bit more professional. Just like a teeny tiny bit more professional with a nice mic. What if I have the mic in the shop? Does that look like I'm trying hard at YouTube? Okay. Hi everybody. Thanks for coming back. Welcome back to Today's Weather Tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start with solar weather today because, oh man, the solar weather is so exciting. Not that the terrestrial atmospheric weather is not exciting. We've got some exciting weather going on all fronts right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can start digging into the nerdy nitty gritty. Okay, so got our spaceweatherlive.com dashboard up right now. And currently you can see just on this, just on the one image, you can tell right away, we have sparkles. We got sparkles on the coronagraph. So that means that we are seeing a solar proton event. And when we check our proton flux here, it is that is the case. Here at the 10 mega electron volt level of energy that each proton is traveling with, we can see that we did reach not only over the 10 particles per cubic meter per second, the proton flux unit, basically. We've reached over, I think we did technically peak at 100, very close to 100 proton flux units here, which would put us in an S2 level solar proton event warning. And the 50 mega electron volt level of energy has also increased. So that's 5 times more energy than the 10. And that one almost got to 10 proton flux units, which is really, these are quite strong. And we did peak out. So an S1 warning is issued when the less than or equal to 10 mega electron volt level reaches over 10 proton flux units. But we also have something that would have independently triggered its own S1 warning with the less than or equal to 100 mega electron volt PFU reaching or mega electron volt reaching 1 proton flux unit. Oh my God, these I'm not used to saying these variables, y'all. I'm sorry. The pink one needs to get to 1 to make a solar storm. And the green one needs to get to 10 to make a solar storm. And the blue one's in the middle, and it's almost at 10. So basically, suffice it to say, we've got some pretty strong protons coming at us, aka radiation coming at us. And they're, remember, positively charged. There's this will be really favorable for might be favorable for Aurora. Let's check what our KP index is looking like, because we did just have really charging radiation come in, and then we're seeing our hemispheric power go right back up. We've got some moderately fast solar wind. Disturbance storm time index is up. Interplanetary magnetic field is up, and BZ component is in the southward direction. So anybody that's looking for aurora, maybe. But our KP index is not super strong. It looks like maybe in the next day or two we'll have a negative. Maybe tomorrow we'll see a little bit better chance of aurora. That would be cute on if it came on Wednesday with Valentine's Day or whatever. Let's go ahead. I want to look at the well, okay, while we were talking about proton flux, I want to go ahead and show you that, like, most of the time, these three are all pretty nominal. Nominal meaning around zero, very close to the zero level of activity. I mean, they're not zero. They're floating around, but they're in the magnitude of like a 0 point something. And then they shot up all the way to the highest levels we got February 10th, were when we had the S2 warning. That's when we did have our sub 10 going all the way up to 172. So this was our S2 warning period. And then we had a little bit of a dip. And didn't, this is the day that we saw two different complete halo eligible solar flares, coronal mass ejections, I mean. And then we had a little bit quieter day where the proton flux was still going down. Oh, it didn't go all the way back down to zero, but there was just so much already out there that it was hard to not be fluxing at a little bit around the warning threshold. But then today we had another event that released some solar protons, and we went right back up to S1 warning level. So let's take a look at that on our solar flare data. You can't. What was I was gonna say? So we had yeah, so remember we had our X over here on the 10th, and then slightly elevated for that random spike into M class territory, and then this random spike into M class territory, but the background level was just hovering in the lower to mid C range. But then today we had 1, 2, 3, actually, if you count last night's M class at 350 UTC, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 M class flares, and you see the this upward trend in the baseline, like the average level is trending upward. I believe we're gonna see this seesaw motion going back up and then down and then back up again. I don't know why I called that a seesaw. That's a wave, that's a sine wave type motion that I just drew. I don't know why I called it a seesaw. You know, I see something, I saw it, and I said it. Okay. I'm goofy. Sometimes you just say words and they sound funny to you, so you say more words that would be funny in the moment, and you're like, I don't know what I meant by that. Anybody else out there just say stuff and you're like, what did I mean by that? Just always mystified at some sort of oracular revelation coming out of your mouth that you're just I'm just a vessel, I guess. No, nobody else have a Mercury conjunct Sun? Okay. So yeah, we're looking at slightly higher solar flares. 24-hour maximum was 6.5, a little less than that M 9.0. But what I wanted to look at was the actual no, the sunspot. Is that the one that I want to look at? No, I want to look at Leia's CMEs, that's the label. Hello, viewers out there. Welcome. We're taking a look at our latest coronal mass ejections. Okay, they've downgraded. Earlier today, they had put this one at a potential type 4 angular width, potentially 270 degrees and above. But let's take a look at it, because this is what's given us that elevated proton flux once again. Look at that. Look at that eruption. Beautiful. Beautiful. And you can almost see the echo on the other side. Let's play that one back in slow motion. All right, let's get the recap on that one, Jim. Who's Jim? I don't know, but he always seems to be in the booth giving us a recap on slow motion. Okay. So first of all, we've got, this is the angle where our coronal mass ejection is coming from. We've also got a little bit of flare out angularly, and as we go through the ejection, we'll see this northeastern quadrant start to sympathetically flare as well. All right, there's our big boy. There's the big rosette. It's almost like a flower bud about to unfold and then fall off. That's really truly what I think these are like. It's a budding flower falling off. And this is solar cycle. The peak of the solar cycle is when the flower is in bloom. Sometimes it's not in bloom. And all of these sparkles or pinpoint areas of difference images are in the different, this is a difference image. So like the black and white shows what has changed. And this is like, this frame minus this frame gives you this. That's the different image. So we got this little rosebud about to blossom open and then fall off. So let's take you through to when it okay, there. That is it in the big rosette stage. This is when the bud has blossomed and it is ready to fly out. And we have kind of this like echo effect on the other side as well. This is, I think, what's giving us the type 3 partial halo. And as we click through, you see this has, now you can see more of the interfering patterns here of a different type, less like a rose and more like a daisy type flower. But then you see this looking like a nice rose unfolding in bloom. So really, really gorgeous geometry in the sky right now. Oh, let's play this again. It goes. Doesn't it look like a really fast unfolding blossom? Bubbles and buttercup. Okay. Let's go. Let's take a look at the type 2 that was immediately after it. Yeah, that is the, so they're counting the one as a type 3 and the other as a type 2. So these were just kind of like rapid fire, boom, boom. Yeah. And let's look at the scatter plots. That'll show us how. Okay, yeah. So this is from this angle to this angle, and a pretty significant distribution, like looking pretty and symmetrical though. I'm not saying pretty symmetrical. I'm saying beautifully symmetrical. And then this is from this angle to this angle. So they overlap just a teeny tiny bit. But this one had a much more compacted velocity range. Like it was less pointy, and is all I can say. And then we also had another quite long one today. Look at that. Right before this rosebud, we had, that is a pretty extended event right there. I want to see where all of these came from, honestly. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 distinct events, and a lot of those were like significantly long. like a duration of 8 and 11 and pretty large angular widths. This one was only 90 degrees, but also some pretty high velocities too. This one that didn't get as large reached a pretty high velocity. That's the one we just looked at, but I'm gonna play it again. Look how fast that's going. And we're talking about, they have it marked as this one up here, but I was noticing this guy. Let me look at the one right before it and see if that's that one. No, that's something different. Oh, but this does show us right before that one bloomed. Okay. This is the budding of the one that we were looking at this previous image. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that explodes with so many protons there. The solar wind speed has increased moderately high since we started the broadcast. This wasn't like that when we started. Let's go ahead and take a look at this from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, because I'd like to see which spots these are. I'm just going to skip straight to our composite image because we all know what we're looking for. I'm going to do full screen. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, this is getting angry over here. We're seeing continued activity and like a disturbance in the region 3576. This is where we saw an ejection yesterday. I think this is where we're getting a lot of stuff. Let's seeing a lot of fizzling and arcing. Yeah. Look at that. Look at from this region to this little like coronal hole region in this one. There's all that exchange. And if we look at this, I mean, this looks stable, but like a generator. This looks like an engine. And this looks like trouble brewing on the horizon. And it's coming from right behind, not the same area where we saw that little tornado, but filament tornado, but just behind it. That's a lot. Okay. Suffice it to say, things are looking pretty active on the sun. Wow, it's just so gorgeous. It's like the coolest lava lamp in the whole solar system. I mean, seriously, look, if you are obsessed with the way that there's the filament eruption we could see. Let's see this again. Let's watch this one brew. Spinning itself up. And they're growing and released. Yeah. Really gorgeous work from the sun today. It's really cool that we got that at the same time. We had we have brand new large coronal mass ejections happening. Oh, that's not what I wanted to click. At the same time, the same day that the space weather agencies have modeled that we would see a large pileup of the last 3 large coronal mass ejections we're getting. They're not also on this image. This one looks like it is only modeling this most recent ejection here. And that one, so the one that we got today should be pretty clear of Earth, but it might send some ripple effects through the Parker spirals that are coming earthward. So this is like, since this is in front of the Earth, or in front of the Earth in the direction of the solar wind, the co-rotating interaction regions coming from the sun are going to have, you see this little wake after the ejection that we just had. going over this way. And actually, there's not too many planets on this side of the solar system right now, so nobody's going to get supercharged by that. But if it had gone over here, like, we would have seen this interacting more with Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And also remember from our astrology that all of our outer planets are near here too. Now, might be wrong, but this could be where Jupiter and Uranus are in the sky, actually. I'm thinking, yes, this solar flare is headed towards that Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus region, but we just don't see it on this map. We don't see it reflected there. Let's see if I can get any of these. Can I get this to play? No, it only worked yesterday. Okay. We're marching through. We're seeing 1, 2, 3, all three of these getting ready to hit. And would you look at that? We're right where we are right now, in the middle of, and now this is in UTC time, so we're actually probably right at the peak of this right now, going right through there. Right, we are getting the brunt of it as I speak, allegedly, according to the Space Weather Prediction Center's model of when that dense wave of plasma and fast solar wind is going to come towards us. So remember that as the plasma hits us, the solar wind is slower, and that probably means that, like, we just had that solar wind elevation. Let's see what our solar wind speeds have looked like over the last few minutes and hours. Let's see, where is that on here? Where's my solar wind actual? I think it's on the Aurora homepage. Okay, yeah. Saw it dip a little and going back up, and the density up, then down, then up. I think that we are in the middle of this interacting ripple effect of these coronal mass ejections. So let's go ahead and, while we're out in space, talk about the astrology of the day. And remember, when we're looking at this zodiac wheel, the idea is that here in the center is Earth. And how you can map this wheel to what we were just looking at from models of the solar activity is put this map, which is centered here on Earth. The center of this circle is Earth. Orient that line between the center of the circle and the sun along the line of the Earth-Sun axis on the models we were looking at. So that's how I know that Venus, Mars, and Mercury are over here. And when we saw the launch, we were looking at it going kind of from this backside of the sun that way. And that is about the angle that we were looking at Jupiter and Uranus to be in the sky. Now, I need to get so much more software to be able to show you guys what I'm talking about, but there are some great viewers out there that I haven't been able to access yet that can show you the full orientation of where, like, night sky viewer software. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about what's actually happening here. I thought yesterday was the actual day. I think tomorrow overnight we get this ingress of Mars into Aquarius, and again it'll immediately exactly conjoin Pluto, which is really fun and powerful. Then only Venus will be left in Capricorn, which I kind of love because she hasn't been there by herself in a minute. And I think she needs to clean up the mess that we've made in Capricorn for the past however many years we've been living with at least one thing in Capricorn at all times. Maybe my whole life. I don't know. We're looking, and she's making that beautiful sextile to Neptune in Pisces. So that's also a good sign that we're going to get some good healing energy, I think, out of get shit done energy, but also a little delusional, but also delusion can be fine as a treat. Now let's go ahead. Let's see. We've got the moon at 8 degrees of Aries. It's about to pass over Chiron and the North Node. The North Node being where the moon is going to exactly be at the Earth's, or at the interaction. It's not at the Earth's equator. The node is where the moon's orbit around the Earth intersects the ecliptic plane, which is the plane in which the Earth rotates around the sun. So it's the place where the sun, moon, and Earth can all align for an eclipse. And the North Node means it's coming from the southern part of the moon's orbit into the northern part of the moon's orbit. So we're about to have that moon directly in the same line as the sun, and it'll be roughly sextile to the sun when we have that nodal crossover. So I feel like that, I don't know, that's got to have some effect on the way that the radiation belts around the Earth act, but I'm not saying I know what they are. I'm just saying, man, our space weather people looking into the nodes, because that seems important. We've still got these big boys hanging out here in Taurus, posting up, making kind of a square to the sun, but also we've got Jupiter and Saturn still in a decent sextile aspect to each other. So I'm not too concerned about the sun squaring Uranus at the moment, for me personally. Now for y'all, if you're not good with change and technology and like needing to upgrade your system, might be really hard right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it's very, I have felt these energies for years, and I'm starting to finally feel normal in the world. And that means that if you have felt normal in the world for a long time, you're probably not feeling too awesome right now. Welcome everybody. I just saw somebody log in, but I don't know who you were, but thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather for today, our terrestrial weather for today. And I'm going to go ahead and see what our rainfall totals looked like, because where I was, the big story was overcast and rainy. Go to our observations. And y'all, I am trying to be quick about this one tonight, because unfortunately, a person that I live with is feeling ill right now, so I'm trying not to keep them up all night. The ceilings are thin. No, I don't live in my parents' bed. No. Jokes. Okay, so yeah, but I'm trying to keep this quick so we don't stay up all night. But this is what we're looking at, our 6-hour precipitation analysis. Let's look at our 24-hour precipitation analysis. All right, so here's the map of all the rain we got today. And again, like I said yesterday, there was a slight risk issued for a slight risk of severe thunderstorms issued in the southeast today, just like there was yesterday. But something about this storm is not quite lining up well enough to produce anything but the occasional, like 1 week random tornado and really strong hail and thunderstorms. So, we're seeing a lot of drenching rain throughout the deep south, throughout the really all of Tennessee and much of South Carolina and far western and eastern North Carolina. Now, we also started to see some precipitation come here in the Pacific Northwest, so that means that our next round of storms is on the way. I mean, it didn't miss too much. This is a little further south than I think that we were expecting this to go today. Let's take a look at, before I go off of this website, I want to make sure that we can see our temperature analysis, because that usually shows better than, I think this shows better than frontal analysis, how the air is moving, but that's just my personal opinion. And I'm sharing my personal opinions with you. So it's my show. I get to do what I want. Okay. Beautiful. So you see the backside of this has a lot of cold air moving in, but we're still getting a lot of equatorial heat and moisture through the motion of that upper level jet coming through. But on the backside, remember, we've got this nice mixing motion coming in and swirling some of this cold air down. Do you see it? A kind of like, if you do watercolors, you can totally get how this map is illustrating how the fluid moves. You can totally see how the pigment would be moving around the page if you like added more water from up here. That's how the pigment will flow. So that's kind of like a good indication of where the rotation is. And also when you see north-south movement of cold air. Do you like this north-south movement? Meridional movement of temperature, then you can expect a lot of mixing from a storm. So speaking of that storm, let's go ahead and take a look at live satellite. Let's look at GOES for a second and see what that storm is shaping up to be like. I'm expecting a lot of moisture. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so this is like even more cumuloform. Like, look at, let me pause it right at the beginning. Where's my ticker? Okay. Look how fluffy, look how cotton ball-y these look. It looks like a stippled brush. Like if Bob Ross was painting this, he would be using, just dipping the tip of the bristles in and just like, tap, tap, tap. That means that these are like more low to mid-level, really wet clouds, really wet and warm clouds. And we still have cyclonic rotation, but the main feed of moisture is coming in from this upper level jet that is also slightly sucking up some of the surface level winds. So we're not only getting the Pacific moisture, but we've had this constant upper level fast wind speed. So now, after a few days of that, we've trained the air below it in the Gulf of Mexico to also spit its Gulf of Mexico moisture up into this area. So we're getting a kind of a two-stream synergy situation. They're crossing streams situation here, swirling all into this like nice wet soaking rain. Really not a whole lot of sun. Let me actually even take you to geocolor, because that should show you this is really, really cloudy, like very overcast and just dreary, but juicy. I'd say these are juicy clouds. These don't look like scary storms as much as like a deep soaking windy rain. I mean, the winds aren't even that high at the surface level either. This is almost like an easy rainstorm, like just a shower, not even a sideways rain situation. But let's take a look at, yeah, look at all that moisture just fire hosing onto this area. But it really doesn't look like we're going to have the moisture and the cold air at the same time in the East Coast again. Just one or the other. Never the two shall meet. Except, of course, over here in the higher elevations of the Rockies, in the western, in the Sierras, in the Rocky Mountains, we're having some pretty decent, not I mean, we're not having snow, but it's not like a big old snowstorm. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the, well, let me see if interactive earthquake browser will allow me to grace their site with my presence. Sometimes I've been thinking that they don't like me lately, so I don't know. Why you guys stop showing earthquakes every time you realize it's me? Okay. Let's go from yesterday to today. And all magnitudes, all depths, data source, mixed. Maybe that'll help. Okay, it did work. Finally. Okay, so our earthquakes for today, we've got a mildly shallow 4.2 off the southern coast of Greece. And then right along this, remember the plate boundary is like a little sine wave where we get to see where energy attenuates itself. Here, right where it goes from a convergent boundary to a transform boundary in Turkey, we had a 10-kilometer deep 3.3, and right next to it in the Iran border region, we had a 4.4 at 10 kilometers depth as well. The 3.3 was first, and then the 4.4. Then we have one on the Hindu Kush region of Afghanistan, or the Tajikistan-Afghanistan border. That was a deeper one than we have been seeing in the area, at a 4.4 at 191 kilometers deep. Still seeing residual movement in the Kyrgyzstan-Xinjiang border region of China and Kyrgyzstan. 4.9 at 10 kilometers deep. That is almost a 10-kilometer deep 5. So not nothing. And again, more activity here on the coastal region of Myanmar or Burma. A 5 at 70 kilometers deep. We had one here in northern Sumatra. That was a 4.2. Down here in I guess that's the Timor Sea, we have a 4.6 at 10 kilometers depth. Another 10-kilometer deep 4.7 just up here, just almost due north of it in the Philippines. So like a long string of mid-range 4s all throughout the Indonesia and Philippines region. Then here along the Mariana Islands, we had a 4.2, a pretty deep one at that. And then still more activity from the Noto Peninsula in Japan, a 4.7. And in the volcano islands of Japan, we have a 4.4. Those are also all at medium depth. Okay, here between Tonga and New Zealand, I guess this is technically the Kermadec Islands. That's a 5 at 53 kilometers deep. Nothing to sneeze at there. Interesting shift of the momentum. Um, don't poop out on me now. Okay. Up here we had a deep quake, a very deep quake in northwest of Kuriil Islands, 4.4 at, nobody's going to feel it at 500 kilometers down, but that could be an indication that there's some motion emerging from deep within. And like up here is the region that we're expecting to be facing the sun while we get, like, currently. So let's see. We've got quite a few earthquakes up here into Alaska, into the Fairbanks region. Hawaii's still not calming down after not having an eruption. There's still a good, consistent, like, throughout the day, all day, 2s and 3s. Let me make sure that I've got latest available on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I missed a few because I didn't have latest available on. I guess these are technically within the last 5 or 6 hours, because we've got some larger shallow earthquakes here in the Philippines, a larger mid-range earthquake here in the Volcano Islands. Still seeing, we got a magnitude 4 at 10 kilometers deep. I didn't even look before I said 10 kilometers. If I see that shallow 4, I know it's going to be 10 kilometers deep now, off the coast of Vancouver Island. And I think that we finally actually recorded something in the California Baja region. Remember how yesterday we were looking at the El Cajon Valley area? Yeah, they're actually finally recording 4.1 over there. They don't have the thing from 2 days ago, but they're at least reporting something. Interesting. You see a lot of earthquakes on this Texas, New Mexico region, border region, but I haven't seen many in southern Texas in a minute. So this is a really shallow 4. 3.9 or 4, 2.9, 3.9 at like 4 and 5 kilometers depth, one right after the other, near San Antonio. So that is interesting. Some in Oklahoma and Kansas. And of course, we can't forget about our New Madrid seismic zone having a shallow 1 point something, New Madrid, Missouri region. And still seeing some activity in Guatemala and central Peru. Let's see. This is off the coast of Chile, and then also southeast of Easter Island. I don't think we're calling that southeast of Easter Island. I'd call that west of Chile and Argentina. But we also had just off the coast of Chile, a 5.4 at 31 kilometers depth. So nothing to sneeze at over here. And then what do we have here on the mid-Atlantic ridge? But a 5.5 and a 5.3 at 10 kilometers depth. I don't know what to tell you. There's more to come out of this Iceland situation yet, I believe, if we see some of this motion carrying itself up the planet. And we see we just have seen consistent earthquake activity both on the island of Puerto Rico and surrounding it. I don't know what that's about. I need to do more research into what's happening here, because I just don't understand why there's such a consistent source of earthquakes out here. Don't really know. I'm thinking a lot of things, but not enough not things I'm confident enough to tell you. So let's go ahead and just take a look at our volcanic activity, our volcanoes today. Let's see. Lewitobi still actively erupting. Ibeco, Suwanos Jima erupting again today. Lewitobi still throwing up that volcanic ash. So all of the Philippines, you want to watch out for that. Let's see. Halmahera Dukono. Still volcanic activity everywhere. All right. Villarrica in central Chile issued following report. Okay. Let's see. We're taking a look at the Icelandic activity here because even though we just had another eruption, uplift does continue to increase. There's continued motion underneath the Svartsengi region, even though the eruption ended. I really do think that we haven't seen the last of this. I don't know why some scientists have said that they expect a different magma chamber, the one to the west of this, to start erupting, but I don't know why they've said that. Looking at this is after the eruption, and they have started building a road across. Remember how this little flank of the lava tongue ruptured the hot water pipe? Well, they have built a road over that in order to try to restore that hot water line. So we're still looking at, I mean, that's a gorgeous image of the eruption. You can really see how it flows like a river around. And you can see how close it got to this protection wall around the Blue Lagoon and the Svartsengi power plant. These are some gorgeous images of last week's eruption. And phreatomagmatic explosion is what the part of the eruption where exploding water blew the existing basalt and cooling lava into smithereens and made that black dust, along with the hot steam water. Yeah, okay, so here you can see the water pipe that got engulfed by lava. Continue to destroy, blah, blah, blah. There's the water. Ooh, these are nice drone images. Okay, so this is what it looks like when the lava is eating up and burning through the asphalt, which is slightly different than that phreatomagmatic activity. So it did cut off the road. All right, and we're back to when the eruption started. So that's just a little recap of what we've been looking at. The magma intrusion continues to uplift the ground. We're still seeing it. It's not like there's not like one source of lava isolated from everything else that once we run out of it, it's good. This is more like tapping a tree to get the sap out. This is more like a spring. We're not like, there's no one, this is not a limited resource, the magma here. We're not going to be able to just drain it and get rid of it. This is an actively erupting and waking up spot. So there's going to have to be some longer term decisions made about the future of the Reykjanes Peninsula, I think. Other than that, I guess I wanted to go to Zoom Earth and see where we've got some globally, who else is looking at radar activity. Wanted to see. Okay. Not going to show me? Okay. Oh, getting tired. Y'all take care of yourself when we're in these solar proton events. It can really do a number on your immune system. and your central nervous system to have such a changing energetic background. So be sure to take care of yourself. Oh yeah, this shows the snow cover a lot better than some of our GOES imagery. And this shows that we've got a lot of that. Here's where we're actually getting precipitation from that swirling storm. This is, again, where the atmospheric river is coming from, but it's feeding into the circulation here that's producing the rain. Mostly heavy rain in the Kentucky, West Virginia areas right now. Here in the western North Carolina mountains, we've seen a little bit like mild rain all day, but nothing too big. Now let's see what's happening over here in Iceland's still covered in lots of snow, very cold up here. Here in the United Kingdom, Norway, Finland, they're getting some, and actually in the Swiss Alps as well, they're getting some rain and snow depending on their elevation. Russia, unsurprisingly, covered in snow. Who would have thought Russia covered in snow? Color me shocked. A little bit of rain over here in China as well, but looks like the United States is getting the bulk of the fun weather activity today. And, well, I said that. I spoke too soon. Australia is in the middle of its typhoon season and rainy season. So they're getting a lot of coastal rain as well, as per usual. Got some storms moving through Paraguay, and doesn't look too... Oh, that's way zoomed in. What did I just zoom in on? Go back. Okay. Oh, these are the radar stations. Okay. I was trying to figure out what the light colored and dark colored are. And this is where Zoom Earth has access to a radar. All right. In Paraguay and Uruguay, we are seeing some rainfall activity. And then also one thing I like about Zoom Earth is that they do have fires marked, wildfires. So we're seeing some, unfortunately, near the Amazon and then up in Venezuela. And we are also seeing some here in sub-Saharan Africa, right at the edge of the jungles. So in Central African Republic is what it's called now. And the DRC, the North DRC and Sudan border are all seeing some wildfires, also a wildfire in Ghana and in Guinea. So that is... Oh, we've got one over here in... where's that? Zoom in. I'm cheating. I'm looking at the names. Listen, self-care sometimes is not pretending you know whether it was Cambodia or Thailand. Here in Cambodia, we've got... Okay, that's weird. We've got a wildfire in Cambodia, but what is this? What is that? That's a weird... That looks weird, right? Is anybody else seeing this? That's really weird here in the Gulf of Thailand, right? This has got to be some sort of radar anomaly. It's saying extreme rain, then no precipitation in a square form. I wonder if this is maybe like... Can I do upper level winds? I don't understand how that's the orientation of the precipitation. If I was gonna guess that maybe we had volcanic ash going that direction, and that was just the area where they had enough moisture to precipitate. But that's weird. Let's see if that shows up on radar or on satellite. I mean, because it's showing up on radar as like a little comet. Yeah, something is weird with the radar here. Something's weird here in the Gulf of Taiwan. I don't know what that is, but that is definitely registering. It's registering as heavy rain, but the way that radar works is that it's a resonant frequency kind of thing. So water's not necessarily the only thing that will give you that. But I'm trying to think. I don't really know what else would give you the signature of water. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to say it on the stream. Okay. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking about that. Let's go ahead and take the stream off so I stop thinking about it. Okay. We've made it through another broadcast. I said I was going to try to shorten it up this time, and we're still here at an hour. Leave a comment if you would like me to use this time cube in order to try to make my segments more regularly segmented, like more time segmented better. Words are hard right now. We're in a solar proton event. Words are hard right now. I'm going to go ahead and close this so my computer can be happier. I don't know if y'all noticed that, like, when I have easier web pages open, my camera has a better quality. It's not ideal streaming from a Chromebook. So when one of you feels ready to send me a computer or buy me some nicer software, I'm here. I'm ready. I've got a link in my description where you can buy me stuff or donate to a fund for me to buy stuff, and it'll secretly send it to my address without you getting my address. So it's called buythingstogetme.com. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's get our cosmic weather reading. Let's get a weather reading from the cosmos. Okay, I'm listening. In two, I guess. Okay. Is it true there is no other? One that I've gotten a couple times before. Is it true there is no other? I'll read the description in a second. And we've also got snake medicine. So let's go ahead and check out what our descriptions say for that, because that's what our cosmic weather is trying to tell us. Snake medicine says, and this is in our liminal space deck, by the way. So this is weather from the liminal space. The alchemy by which the poison may be used as the remedy, creating the immunity necessary to effectively navigate safely inside otherwise poisoned ecosystems. Life will adapt to and evolve from even the most polluted and toxic environments. The cure is in the poison. And you need to have something rotten in order to grow out of it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful compost. I wouldn't even call this snake medicine. I'd call this compost medicine too. Beautiful stuff there. And is it true there is no other? This one always trips me out. This one says, the ladybug's red and black exterior shell is not the wings, but rather the elytra, or wing cases. Translucent and folded underneath the elytra, the true wings are unseen unless in flight. So it is with the human form and the soul. As long as the ego is attached to the illusion of personal identity, the meaning of this card will remain evasive. However, a mere moment of experiencing the inherent unity of all things can inspire dramatic internal shifts. As long as the ego is attached to the illusion of personal identity, the meaning of this card will remain evasive. Is it true there is no other? Doesn't mean you shouldn't think about others. It means when you're thinking of yourself, and I'm not going to tell you the meaning, but the real illusion is separation. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So this together, we are not alone in going through the trenches right now. I know I was talking earlier about like, oh, things are so great. It's not that things are so great for me right now. I just like feel better about it than I ever have. You know, we're all in this together and we're going to get through it. But only once we realize we're all in it together. I don't even know. And we won't be able to consciously make that shift until the world demonstrates it materially. So keep an eye out for hope, because it's hard not to have that. Hard to go on if you don't have that hope. And remember, even when you're surrounded by the poison, you're also surrounded by the cures. So don't think, oh, woe was me because I'm surrounded by so much toxicity, blah, 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 blah. You know? Don't be a victim. Use that Chiron energy. The moon is transiting near Chiron right now anyway, and that's kind of a Chiron lesson, is the poison is, the medicine is in the poison. Yep. I think this is what we needed to hear today. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful night. Please take care of yourselves and each other throughout this time of elevated solar activity. It's going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be rough out there, but like, don't expect sunshine and puppies and you'll be fine. Be ready to take care of each other and see how all of our struggles are related and interlinked and interdependent. If you feel alienated from a community of people, then just realize that look for the ways that what you're going through are reflected in people all around you that you don't feel connected to, and act and talk as if you know that you are connected to them, and it will be amazing what kind of connections you already have are revealed. Only time I've ever felt super separate from people is when I've thought that people expected me to be very separate from them. The more I act and talk and live as if we are all connected, the more connections I've found. You can't connect with people over being a nobody. You can connect with people by being yourself. And people are like, the only thing everyone all has in common is they're being themselves. That's the only thing we have in common, truly, is that we are who we are. And that is the baseline, basic common ground you can find with anyone. Is this is the way I figure out who I am. How do you figure out how you are? All right. We're all little nodes in Indra's net. Okay. that whole thing. Like, if you can't imagine Indrasmanet, imagine the intersections of the little wires on the grill on the microphone. We're all a little piece of a different wire, but we're all part of the same grill on the microphone. Okay. That's enough metaphors for tonight. You can never catch me saying that again. That's enough metaphors for tonight. Okay. I love you all very much. Have a great evening. Bye. Bye.